non-conference schedule? How do you think it made your team develop?
Well, there were so many question marks leading into the season with so many new guys and how they would fit together and who would do what. And in addition to the new guys, even the veteran players were going to be taking new roles on. Jaquan Newton going from a combo guard to a full-time point guard and running the team. And Davon Reed going from maybe a third or fourth option to a first or second option. And each time you change roles, it takes some time to adjust to that. And for a high school player, it's not only changing roles, but it's changing level of competition. And things are going to be more challenging. You're going to have to learn college defense. You're going to have to learn how to attack different defenses yourself. And you're learning a whole new system and even a culture of what the expectations are, how long practice is and how intense they are. And so we've made a lot of strides, but we still have a long ways to go. We have young players who came in, I would say, not physically prepared in terms of strength to compete against the biggest and strongest teams in our conference. I think they've made progress in that area. The guy who made the most progress was Ebuka Azundu, because he had a whole year of college experience before we were really asking him to play a major role. Now he can bench press 300 pounds. So that's a significant improvement from last year when he came. But two other big freshmen, DeJuan Ewell and Rodney Miller, are both making progress in the strength area, but they're not benching 300 pounds or anywhere near that yet. So we need to help them continue to improve while competing. It's different than Buka, who was a backup to Tanye, and Tanye played a majority of those minutes, and Buka needed just to go in and give us, 5 or 6 minutes a ball game, whereas DeJuan is asking us 20 minutes a game, and we're planning on playing Rodney Miller now, because when you go into ACC play, the players are bigger, and he's actually a better matchup than he would be for a team like Columbia, whose big guys shoot threes. So you're making adjustments, and the guy who's made the fastest adjustment as a freshman is Bruce Brown, because physically he was more ready. He's already benching 300 pounds. He can jump. He can handle the ball. He can play multiple positions. He's a hard-nosed defender. He's an excellent rebounder. So he's competing at a high level right now. DJ Vasiljevic also, from an offensive standpoint, I think is ready to contribute. He's worked very hard defensively, and I think he's made a lot of progress. So, but we really need our veteran players, Jaquan Newton, Davon Reed, Anthony Lawrence, and Kamari Murphy to play at a high level. And they're going to get a chance to play a lot together now. Anthony Lawrence played 29 minutes last game, and his role is one of the most challenging because he's got to play multiple positions. He's got to guard multiple guys. He's got to guard a perimeter player who shoots threes and uses ball screens. Then he's got to guard a big guy who posts up and is all over the offensive boards.
When you look at Jaquan, he came out of the season kind of running. He played really well from the start. Davon, it's been lately has been really playing well. What have you seen from both of them, and just how they kind of played together?
Well, I think initially the challenge for them was with so many new guys, they weren't just playing, they were coaching. They were trying to lead, and you're coaching the young players as to how to get things done. It's actually a distraction from you doing your job. And as a result, we had some challenges that we needed to work through. And we're going to now have new challenges. Even though the players have adapted to their new roles, we're now facing a much higher level of competition. The teams we played in the non-conference, we played 3 high major teams out of 12, plus GW. I would consider the Atlantic 10 kind of a high major program. So we played 5 out of our 12 against high majors, 3 in Orlando, the ACC Big Ten Challenge, plus GW. So we've had a taste of high-level competition. but we've also enjoyed success against teams that are not of the high major level, and we were able to build some confidence and continuity, a good substitution pattern. But the new challenges are far-reaching. It's far more challenging to go against a guy like B.J. Anya, who's 6'9", 344 pounds, or an Omer Yurtseven, who's 7'1" and highly skilled, or a Malika Boo, who is 6'9" and a great athlete and a skilled big man. So we have major challenges right now as we enter conference play.
Do you think that Davon maybe just trying to beat the captain and trying to look over like the freshman maybe at the beginning, maybe explained a little bit of his slow start and then kind of...
Well, well, that's part of it, but it's also the other guys not finding him. You know, you have to have guys who complement what you do. And the reason I think Davon is playing better is some of our younger players have adjusted pretty well now, and they're more familiar with the offense and what they should be looking for. And Davon has been the recipient of some better passing.
I was curious, your thoughts on NC State, you know, success in this game, obviously. They've got, I think, 6 guys in double figures, just scoring 84 points a game. I mean, just talk to them a little bit and the talent they present.
Well, I think they're an offensive machine. They have strength in scoring at every position, including coming in off the bench. If you look at their offensive talent, it's probably ranks in the top 5 teams or 10 teams in the country. When you see a guy like Dennis Smith, who's projected to go in the lottery, Torin Dorn, who is in his third year of college, he's a real veteran, and he's averaging, 15 points a game. And then you have Terry Henderson, again, a veteran player who can really, really shoot, was highly recruited coming out of high school. Abu is now a real veteran. Yurtseven is a highly skilled guy who people tell me could be a first-round draft choice at the end of this year. You got Maverick Rowan, who was a starter last year. He's averaging double figures coming in off the bench. And then a host of other guys, including B.J. Anya, who's, I think he's the leading shot blocker in NC State history, and he doesn't even start anymore. So they've got a ton of talent.
Before the season, you talked about some of the weaknesses of your team, or things you might have been a little concerned about was, one, Jaquan's assisted turnover ratio, and the team's defense as a whole. What have you seen on those 2 specific areas over these past 13 games?
Well, I think Jaquan is adjusting, but again, it's a work in progress. He needs to stay focused on making simple passes. Some plays that we made in the past, we can't really make right now. The perfect example is our lob passing percentage is so low. We try to throw a lob pass, it's almost always a turnover. And in years past, Sheldon McCullen would catch those and dunk them. So you have a different kind of a receiver. You're not always on the same page, passer and recipient. Jaquan's working on that part of his game. He's had some outstanding games. He had 9 assists and only 1 turnover just 2 games ago. But that's something he's really got to be aware of. Our defense is improved, but as I said, we haven't faced as many great offensive teams as we're going to face now. If you look at KenPom's statistics, half of the top 30 are ACC teams. Duke, Carolina, Virginia, Louisville, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, Clemson, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest. Right off the top of my head, that's 9 teams whose offense is rated very, very high. Oh, and NC State, of course. And so that's 10 teams that when you take the floor, if your defense is not sharp that night, that team can put up 80, 85, 100 points.
We were talking to Davon before he came in, and he said the goal, of course, is to win every game, which you want you to say that, of course. But he also said he expects some bumps in the roads, and he sort of said some reasons for that. Really, you're still learning each other on defense and offense, that you haven't had that much adversity bumps sort of maybe coming that you're going to have to manage at this
Well,
point?
I think every team in the ACC can have some bumps.
Yeah.
You know, when you're playing against this level of competition, it's like the NBA. There's a grind, and you're going to have, you know, Dave, maybe you're not at full strength. Someone's injured. Maybe somebody is sick. Maybe you have, you know, 2 or 3 straight road games, and in this league, it's very, very hard to win on the road. So you got to kind of be at the top of your game, playing very, very well. And even if you're playing really, really well, your opponent is likely to be playing very well, and it can come down to a possession or two, or shot or two, a turnover or two.